Welcome to another episode of the Untold Stories. Remember, if you are listening to the right stories, then you are listening to the Untold Stories. Today in this episode, we're gonna talk about the making of Lord Hanuman. How one monkey saw God in Rama and became God in the process over a period of time. But before we begin, let me tell you a conversation of a disciple with his master. The disciple asked the master, "Master, I don't know how to see you. How should I see you? Should I see you as a master, as a guru or a teacher, a contemporary or a lover? How do I see you?" The master with a lot of compassion replied, "You see me as a master, you become a disciple. You see me as a guru and you become a seeker. You see me as a speaker and you become a listener. You see me as a teacher and you become a student. You see me as a Bhagwan and you become a Bhakt. You see me as a beloved, you become a lover. You see me as a contemporary, you become a friend." The master gently smiled and said, "How you see me makes no difference to me, but it makes all the difference to you." This small conversation tells us that in defining anything in the world, our relationship to it also gets defined. In defining anything in the world, our relationship towards it also gets defined. Dasratha saw a son in Rama. He became a father in the process. Unable to handle the separation from his son, he died. Sita saw her husband in Rama and she became a wife in the process, and she had the better half of suffering in Rama's life. Lakshmana saw a brother in Rama and he became a brother in the process and lived in the service of his brother for the rest of his life. Ravana saw an enemy in Rama and thus became an enemy in the process and got defeated eventually. And in this crowd of intellectuals, evolved human beings, one monkey saw God in Rama and became God in the process over a period of time. How you see the world makes no difference to the world, but it makes all the difference to you. One of the most powerful lessons that one can learn from Lord Hanuman is to be selfless, humbleness and modesty. In search of Sita, Hanuman was required to cross the ocean. Due to a curse on him, he was unable to do so despite having the power within himself. Jamwant became the guide here and he sang praises for Lord Hanuman. This made him realize his strength and complete the task of finding Devi Sita. After Jamwant praised and advised Hanuman, he started his journey to Lanka. Now the point to be noted here is that Hanuman in himself was an ocean of knowledge. He was a guru in himself. He knew everything. Still, he asked Jamwant what to be done next. On his way, first came Sursa. She said that everyone has to pass through her mouth before one can resume its journey. She has solar imagery and the size of a mountain. She declares that Hanuman is the food provided to her by the gods and tries to eat him. Hanuman explained his mission to track Sita and requested her to let him go and promised to return to enter her mouth. She told him that he could pass only through her mouth as per a boon given to her. Hanuman counters her by challenging to open her mouth wide enough to eat him. He started expanding his form and became larger. Sursa also expanded her jaws so she can eat Hanuman. Finally, when Sursa's mouth expands to 100 yojan, Hanuman suddenly assumes a tiny form and enters her mouth and leaves it before she can close it. The point that we must notice, and something that all of us must learn, is that when it was time to show power, Hanuman increased in size, and when it came to showing the wisdom, he diminished in size. Another important incident that can teach us a lot of lesson is when Hanuman met Sita in Ashok Vatika. He was sitting in a tree and was waiting for the sun to set. Hanuman then jumped down and stood before her. He introduced himself as the messenger of Rama and told her the story of Rama's friendship with Sugriva and how he himself had arrived in Lanka. He gave her Rama's message and assured her that soon Sri Ram would arrive with the Vanara Sena to kill Ravana and his Rakshas. When Sita was not convinced, he assumed his limitless form to display his strength, and this limitless form of Hanuman finally assured Sita. Now the lesson to learn here is that when Sita was not convinced, he assumed his limitless form to display his strength. He assumed his limitless form and power to remove the fear which Sita had and not to make her afraid. Always use your power to remove the fear and not to inculcate the fear. The life of Lord Hanuman teaches us a few impeccable management lessons as well. If you tear the heart of Hanuman, you will see Rama and Sita image carved into it. Hanuman was able to see only Lord Rama, and that's why it was easy for him to absorb the instruction. And ultimately, it was easy for him to execute the instruction as it was coming from one source. We all have ideas, but we don't have an execution process. Ideation without execution leads to delusion. When Lakshmana became unconscious in the war with Meghnad and Hanuman was asked to bring the Sanjeevani booty, he didn't say that I am on leave or I am working from home or I don't have enough resources to do it or it is a difficult task. He didn't say any of this. There is something called initiative and there is something called finitiative. Everyone can take initiative, but finitiative can be done only by those people who take up the responsibilities. Responsibility is something that is never assigned. It is something which one has to snatch and grab. Under tough circumstances, we often need people who are reliable and responsible. Lord Hanuman was a perfect example of accountability, ownership, initiative, and responsibility. Some people will show you how to do it. Some people will see it while it is happening. Some people will wonder about what and how is happening. Which category you come in? With every excuse that you give to yourself, you lose your potential to be extraordinary. Remember, if you are listening to the right stories, then you are listening to the untold stories. And if this episode has matched your wavelength, then share it with people who need it. And just in case you have the time, then you must listen to my previous episode, Be Like Bumblebee, where I talked about how someone transforms when he finds a purpose greater than their lives. That's all from this episode. Remember friends, you too have untold stories to tell, which can make a difference in someone's life, because certain untold stories are born out of certain lives, and certain lives are born out of certain untold stories.